Speaking about financing, how did you obtain startup capital?
I had really good credit. I opened up 10, 12 different credit cards. I borrowed against those credit cards. I was able to lease some of the equipment that I needed in some of the medical centers that I operated. I was able to no, I did it by myself. Nobody helped me. I basically borrowed against myself, and I believed in it enough that I indebted myself to make sure that I had the right amount of capital in the beginning to successfully get started.
All right. How, what, when, and where do you advertise and promote your business?
We just started doing Twitter and social media because we feel that that's going to be a great avenue for us to successfully target our population in a given area, in a demographic area. We do a lot of grassroots marketing where we do, for example, a lot of events centered around, these are medical practices. Medical practice is local in nature. We have done a lot in the way of promoting the local center, the medical practice in that community. We promote it. We expand our advertising in local community newspapers. They're a lot less expensive. Their viewership usually is local to that market, and that's exactly what we are. We don't do a lot of out of the geographic area that we service marketing.
What are the licensing requirements for your business?
There are quite a few. First of all, the doctors have to be licensed, obviously, in the state that you're practicing in. They have to have a special drug DEA license in order to do prescriptions. You need a city, you need a county, and you need a state license. The state license is a special license that allows you to operate a medical practice, that allows you to also employ physicians in the state of Florida. You need a special license with the federal government that allows you to bill the federal government on behalf of that particular location. So these are all licenses. They all cost money. They all require renewals. And then you have a special requirement that every individual that works for you has to pass an FBI level 2 clearance. So they're able to be employed. That includes the physicians as well. So there are quite a number of different licenses that we require and need yearly and every 2 years.
Do you use any information technology to help run your business? If so, what kind?
Right now, we most of our offices are on electronic medical record. So we use EMR, which is charting, medical charting without paper, is really what it is. And it's taken a long time because not everybody is on the same page, and the technology is just undergoing certification, which means that all the different technology firms are going to have to communicate under the same frame of language, which is how the data is transmitted electronically is going to be the same. And I think that is going to make a huge change imagine you being able to go to New York today and get sick, but you have your medical record with you because just with an ID and a password, they know the medication that you're taking, if you've had an EKG, if you've had the duplicity of services are reduced. And I think the quality of care is drastically improved because you eliminate errors now. You get into an accident, you're not able to communicate with the doctor that's providing you service there, but just because he knows your name and your social security number, he might be able to gain access to your record. And in doing so, it enables him to more effectively manage your care because he knows what you've been taking, and he knows what you may be allergic or not allergic to.
All right. How do you handle internal and external threat?
There's so much that you can do to avoid inappropriate behavior by staff and others. We have cameras in each office. We reconcile our daily cash against the number of patients that we've seen that day. We sample audit to keep people honest because you couldn't audit everybody. We see an average of 450 to 500 patients a day between our 10 medical offices, and then some. and then probably even more than that actually. So you couldn't put enough resources into that area in order to ensure 100% compliance. But you don't want 100. I think you know when you get to a point where you at least you instill a sense of awareness to your staff that you are looking over their shoulders to make sure that they are doing the right thing. I think that's more than adequate.
How do you select potential employees that you would trust?
A lot of I personally interview every single employee in our company. We have over 100 employees, and no one joins my organization unless they've had a chance to sit down with me. I look for certain qualities that are beyond what you see on a resume. I think the truth is that you can write on a piece of paper anything you want, but I'm more interested in the quality of the individual as a whole, not just his qualifications on where he's done and what he's been.
Well, what do you think is the most important quality in an employee?
Attitude.
Attitude.
Nothing is more important to a workplace environment than a positive attitude by that individual. Then you go back and you say, okay, who's more qualified? But at the end of the day, attitude, personality, the positive influence that he may have, just attitude. I think 85% of who you are is attitude.
Are you hesitant about working with family members?
Am I hesitant about working with family members? If I worked with family members, I would expect more from them than I would from an employee. I would ensure that they and everyone around them realizes that they're going to be treated just the same. I would not, under any circumstances, allow a family employee to do something that another, a regular non-family employee would be subjected to discipline as a result of them doing it or not doing it.
How had owning your own business affected your family?
I sleep at night knowing that I'm not worried about what may come Friday if there's been a problem in the economy, or I know where my future is because I'm running it. I'm running my future for myself, and I know how to plan accordingly. If I know that in the summers it's going to be slow, I do things in the summer that don't cost me a lot of money. And in the winters, I save it during the winter to make up for some of the summer. But I would say that just a peace of mind of knowing that it is yours nothing can put a value on that.
Okay. Well, what succession plans you have for your business? If you pass the business on to your children and they refuse, what will you do?
What succession plan? That's a very good question, because I think that most entrepreneurs and business owners never face that question early on in their careers, and I think one of the things that I do, and one of the things that I like to do is I engage my staff to do things that are otherwise not allowed to by many other companies. I allow them to make decisions at the local level. I allow them to influence those behaviors are influenced by me, because I give them the right tools, I give them the right information, I give them the right thought process that we do things on behalf of the member, that we do things on behalf of the patient, that our most important values our employees and our employees and our patients are the most important assets that we have, and I expect them to act accordingly. So if it's the number one importance is satisfaction of that customer leaving the office, and you know, a lot of people come to the office because they don't feel well, so their expectations of what they think is satisfactory when they're not already feeling well is difficult. So you're not always going to, everyone in your office isn't always going to walk away happy, because you know, medicine doesn't work that way. Some people are sick and some people get better, and our job is to make sure that we do it with dignity and with respect, and I think those are the things that my staff knows from me, that's what I expect from them. So they're allowed to make decisions on their own. I also am building a team of people that I can walk away. I can be away for a month, and run my business through the network, through a computer while I'm away. Respond to my emails, take care of my phone calls through voice over IP, and interact at that level. But I also have a staff that I feel that I can leave, and they can actually successfully manage my organization without me being there.
Okay, well, we have a couple more questions before we wrap this interview up. And I understand you're in the healthcare management field, and me wanting to pursue a career in healthcare management, I just want to ask you a couple of general questions. What kind of day-to-day things do you have to do?
Day-to-day things. I wake up in the morning. I go to my main office. I review any emails or pending items that are sitting there. I manage the office with information. I believe that there's a saying that I always use that says you cannot manage what you don't report. So I love data. Data drives the decision-making process that I do in each of the offices. Once a month, I visit all of my offices. I have 21 medical offices. Once a month, I do go out to my offices, say hello to the doctor, say hello to the staff, spend half a day there, go to another office, spend half a day there. So my time is really used out on the street. Like I said, medicine is local, healthcare is local, and that's where I spend my time. I spend it at the local market.
What is it that makes you feel your business is a success?
I have a workforce of doctors and professionals and paraprofessionals that enjoy coming to work. They enjoy coming to work for me. I believe that. I treat them very, very well. I treat them not as a co-worker, not as a boss, employer-employee typical relationship. We provide genuine healthcare. We don't abuse the process, and those things come together, and they define success. And to make my point blatantly clear, to you, I have been successful because of those things, and my success carries over. People see that. They see that. They want to work for me. They know that that I respect them, that I do a good job for them. And I think that is the satisfaction when you ask how do you know you're successful. I think that is the key ingredient to it. And obviously at the end of the day, we are profitable. So profitability also, you could do everything that I've just said and probably be in the wrong business and not be profitable. I think we're in a good business, and we're profitable.
Well, last question before we wrap this interview up. What is the best advice you can give to someone starting their own business?
Focus. Have a good plan. It doesn't have to be a beautiful, well-prepared, documented, hundreds of pages, but have a plan. Have a list of things that you want to accomplish, and work off a list. Always develop a list, not necessarily a goals, but like, okay, what is my objective? My objective is to build, let's say you want to do a sub business, and compete against the local sub chains that are out there now. What kind of product do you want your product to be? Bigger, to be fresh breads? What is your identity? If you want to do healthcare, what kind of healthcare do you want to do? Maybe you want to operate diagnostic centers. Well, you have to look at your competitors in the area, what kind of payments they're getting, what kind of reimbursements you're going to be, what kind of market share you think you're going to have. But at the end of the day, it's focus. You can do anything if you focus to it, if you focus your mind to it. I believe that you can develop and become anything you want if you put the energy and focus to it.
All right, well, I want to thank you for giving me your time. It's been an honor sitting down here with you. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we finish this interview?
No, thank you. I enjoyed it.
All right, well, thank you, David.
Bye-bye.